got so bad, money was dribbling down to nothing, so. Anyway, he sent us money to come down.
Move. He looks back at Ron like he's really offended at you.
He's
It's okay.
refusing to move.
So we went to Lake Charles. And
Stubborn too.
stayed with Mom and Daddy for a very short time, didn't we? And
Yeah.
then, when we left Watcher.
Yeah.
And then Daddy had the idea of he and your dad exchanging places how often?
I don't know, 6 weeks or something like that.
Anyway, he would pastor and your dad was to be out in meetings during that time, and then they'd switch. Well, it was easy for Daddy because everybody knew him. Wasn't so easy for your dad, so then we started really having some problems. But in the meantime, I was pregnant with Michael.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
I was. And so he was born in Lake Charles, and then things got bad because he was just a baby. Your dad was supposed to be out in meetings. He didn't have a meeting to go to.
So every 6 weeks you're having to get new meetings?
Yeah. something
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but we were supposed to swap out. He would go off, and I would be the main speaker.
But while you're pastoring for the 6 weeks, you're trying to make arrangements for places to go then, right?
Yeah, I'm supposed to. Supposedly, yeah.
That's
That's
how
what was
it's
supposed to have been happening. Yes.
Daddy was trying to help, but he didn't understand how it couldn't work.
He didn't remember what it was like to be a new upcoming person because he was already established.
Yeah, he was already known and everything. It was rough.
Yeah.
When we were kids and he was trying to find places. But anyway, then there was a meeting at the church. I don't know if Daddy was there right then, but I think he was. But anyway, there was somebody there for a meeting, and after church, I was out in the hall with all my sisters, the whole family, were there, and we'd be talking and stuff. Well, church was out, I was standing out there, and it was like I was here. I really was here, but I wasn't here.
You're out of body?
Yeah, it was just weird. I would go to talk to him, I couldn't talk. And it was awful. And so we went home and he called the doctor. The doctor said, it's just stress and nerves. And actually, I didn't realize it, but I must have been stressing out, not knowing what we were going to do because it was his turn to go out. Michael was due. I didn't know what we were going to do. The money was going down. And food was due. So anyway, had to rest, I guess, for a little bit, and that's it. Then I was okay again. Then Michael was born.
While during the 6 weeks you're out, or what?
Yeah. And we had no more money to buy food. Rent was due. And then on top of it, Sharon complicated it by getting appendicitis. And that's when all that happened. Of course, then, your dad prayed for her. We both believed that she'd be healed. After all, God knew that we didn't have anything. And we're in desperate circumstances. But it didn't happen. So I finally called the doctor. Doctor said, get to the hospital. I was at home. I didn't go because I was there with the new baby and the rest of you. So you took her to the hospital. And
Emergency room.
Yeah, now you can
Took her
tell
to
that
the
part
emergency
'cause you were
room, and we sat down, and there was 2 or 3, 4 other people there in the emergency room. And so I held her, and we sat down somewhere up toward the back of the emergency room. It was just a room.
She was just about 3 years old.
And took her, and we sat down, and so there was a man and his wife. The man was on the gurney, and I recognized them because I had preached in some little church in Sulphur, and they were there. They were, I guess, part of the people that went to that church. So I knew them just because of having been acquainted with them at the church. And so I was just sitting there waiting for it to be called, or the doctor to come, or something, or I don't forget what it was. I couldn't do anything but wait. And so in a little bit, I noticed, of course, I could see very clearly, it was right there in the room. She was beginning to fidget in her purse. She opened her purse and was doing something in her purse. And then she came over and walked over to me, and she said, and they were deeply Cajun people, but anyway, which matters not at all, but
Simplicity.
She came over to me, and she said, "I'm going to give you something." I held up my hand to take it, and she put a quarter in my hand. She said, "You know, this is not much, but, you know, whatever." And so I took it. I appreciated it very much. Of course, you know, I didn't know how much money I needed.
We didn't have anything.
We didn't have anything. We absolutely didn't have anything. But anyway, I was called to go back into the check-in place of the hospital, and you know, they took my name, address, everything. They didn't ask for insurance, because I didn't have any insurance to begin with. But anyway, they said, "Did you want a private room, or do you know somebody?" I said, "Well, we'll take a private room." And so, I mean, I was ignorant. But anyway, then I came back in. We came back in and sat down. And after that, the doctor came. And of course, when Sharon went in for surgery, you know, to find out what it was, he determined it was an appendix. The appendix that was bad. He said that when he cut in to, you know, see the appendix, it was on the verge, I mean just within that close to being ruptured, and it would have spread, you know, poison all through her body.
That could have been it.
So
But,
you've been born 3 times.
Mm-hmm. See?
But anyway, it was all fine. So they took her up to the room, recovery, up to her room, which was a private room in the hospital. And how long did we spend there? About a week it was, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think it's about a week that she stayed in the hospital. Well, in the meantime, our neighbor, which we knew her, because she was a member of the Calcasieu Tabernacle, which was right down the street from where we lived at that time, and her dad was the pastor of the church, but she was a member of that church. Her son played the piano. He was an excellent pianist, and I knew him personally because he went out with us in some of the street meetings we used to have. But anyway, she learned of our plight. We did not, of course. Sharon was in the hospital.
She knew we had just had a new baby.
We just had this baby. We didn't have any food, didn't have any money, didn't have anything. And so she took it upon herself. I don't know what she said.
She didn't know that as desperate as we really were.
Yeah, but she took it upon herself to rally to get us some help, you know, Okay, well, I'm gonna get you some help. Well, man, I'm telling you right now, when the help started coming, man, boxes and boxes and boxes of food of all kinds started
Wow.
coming in,
We hadn't had meat.
and we hadn't, I mean, we
And it was
didn't have
packed.
anything.
It was in the
I
refrigerator.
mean, boxes and boxes of food. We were sticking it everywhere we could put it in the house. And money started coming in. I mean, just, I never saw so much money in my life at that one time. So when I mean, that of course took care of the need for the family's eating as far as that's concerned. And more, I mean, it was abundant and above and beyond what we could have expected.
Paid
But
up
anyway,
rent for one
when it
thing.
came time for me to go to the hospital and to check her out, and she'd been there for a week in the hospital, and to pay, I guess we paid the doctor at the same time.
Yeah, you paid everything.
But anyway, came there and I had a stack of bills probably this high. And I mean, I counted, when the lady told me how much money it was, I counted it all, I counted every bit of it off. Counted every penny that we owed, I counted it from the money that had been given to us during this particular time. I mean, I left the hospital owing nobody. I went in there with a quarter and came out with tons of groceries and a lot of money. It was just the most incredible thing in the world.
And a month more of rent.
Yeah, I had money for the rent, I had money for the car payment, I think, and everything. But it was amazing what the Lord did. Took care of us.
You said that Michael was born when I went into the hospital. Michael was born.
Michael was born, he was only just real tiny whenever
What year was he
you
born?
got sick.
What year was he born?
Huh?
What year was he born? How old is he?
I think it was 55 when he was born.
Yeah, he's the
how much
same age
older
as
is
Greg.
he than you?
Yeah, so it's
I
55.
was born 57.
Well, it was 1955 when all this happened.
So it had in 55. Okay, so I was 3. All right.
And I had only, when I had him, I was only in the hospital 12 hours. We were trying to save money. Had him 12 hours when we had to sign papers that we wouldn't sue
Sue
him
the
if
hospital.
something happened.
Yeah.
Oh my, because you left so early.
And when we came back I went at night, came back in 12 hours later to the house, and walked out from the car carrying the baby, and our neighbor was flabbergasted. She didn't even know I'd gone to the hospital. And here I come walking in, carrying him.
So I was
Wow.
3 when that happened, and I have vivid memories of the hospital and the surgery room just before I went under, and all of that.
Really?
Remember
Wow.
that?
Yeah, I do. I remember when somebody carried in that duck I have, the little pitcher.
Yeah. A
I-
friend
when they- when
from
they-
the church
It was
came
filled with flowers, and I
brought it to
remember
me.
them bringing it in and setting it down on the, there was a window
It had-
over there with
Did it
curtain
have
over it.
flowers in it?
It had flowers in it. Hmm.
Cool.
And being a brat, I did
Oh,
not want
yeah.
to eat.
She was such a brat.
Not
afterwards.
only did you not
No,
want to
no,
eat,
in the hospital.
In the
I did
hospital
not
you
want
were a
to.
brat?
I did
Oh,
not
when you
want
got
to
home
eat.
you were a brat
They
too.
tried to get me to eat Jello.
She was.
Come on, honey, you gotta eat your Jello. You gotta eat your Jello. No.
No.
Yeah, she was.
No.
and when they brought
She was-
medicine,
No.
oh, it was
Yeah, it was
horrible.
awful.
She'd
Yeah.
spit it all over the nurse.
Oh, no, are you serious?
I remember.
Spit it on the nurses?
Really? You were a brat.
Uh-oh.
that.
We're running out of power. This is it.
I was determined. Let's not call me a brat. I was determined.